Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is August the 1st, 2019. Strong hand. Be a unique beast. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Having hype. Unconfiscatable. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Offended by selling. 5-digit realm. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Be in motion. I know all you guys. All you dudes are in motion. All of my elite friends out there. Check out the links below, my elite friends. It's not just about watching and listening. It's about learning. So you got to click on the links that are listed below. Hey, tomorrow, This Week in Bitcoin with Simon Dixon. Oh, yeah. And it's a good one. Uncharted territory, he talks about. Uncharted territory, Simon Dixon talks. I love that term. We are in uncharted territory every day in Bitcoin. It's uncharted territory. That's why I love this space so much. You don't know what is coming next, but you do know that tomorrow it's Simon Dixon. Now, by the way, speaking about uncharted territory, YouTube said there was going to be no more Hangouts anymore. Well, Hangouts is working today. It is August 1st. They said after August, tomorrow's August 2nd. Looks like it's going away. It's uncharted territory. No more Google Hangouts. How are you going to do the show? Zoom. That's how I'm going to do the interview shows, with Zoom. But still, YouTube is allowing me to do the One Bitcoin show every day this way. But that's what you got to do. You go into uncharted territory, but you keep your system intact. My system is intact. A new strong hand video every day. But sometimes you got to roll with the punches a little bit. That's why you're in motion. That's why you're learning. And so I learned how to use Zoom. Pound that like button. All right. But always, you never let an obstacle get in your way. You just find a way around it and you keep on sticking to the system. And you know that system, a new show every day for all you elite out there. All my elite friends. Well, some of my elite friends weren't around here 2 years ago. Hey, I was around here 2 years ago. Actually, on this very day, I was taking a flight back from Brisbane to Baltimore with the Lulu and New York. Oh, and it was during Tisha B'Av, one of the Jewish holidays when you're supposed to fast 25 hours, except I kept on going back in time. The holiday kept getting longer and longer. Anyway, so while I was fasting on a plane, everybody was worried. Everyone's going wild. Oh, it's this Segwit, this Bcash scaling debate. What's the real Bitcoin? Oh, my Lord, how is this all going to end up? And the weeks leading up to August the 1st of 2017, it wasn't really clear what was going to happen. But there were some of us who had strong hands. There were some of us that were into Segwit and the user-activated soft fork, okay? We don't need to get into the technical details now, because it doesn't matter now. It all happened. And guess what? Bitcoin won. Of course, Bitcoin won. And a popular line of FUD around this time was that the King of the Trolls fork, which would be called Bcash, that's going to be the real Bitcoin. And now we look back. Oh, time is a beautiful thing. We look back and we see like, wow, that was a line of FUD, that Bcash was going to be the real Bitcoin. I mean, it's hard to understand. But Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Bitcoin has always been Bitcoin. And so we can remember that 2 years ago, it was a pretty wild time on this day, on August the 1st. But things went fine. And Bitcoin boomed after that. And we see it so clearly now, okay? But again, back then it was not that clear. And then, of course, we realized that Bcash was nothing but a crypto dividend, that there would be friendly fork crypto dividends after that not so friendly fork. And sure enough, it all happened and it was great. But there's a lot of things in 2019 that don't appear very clear. Many aspects of Bitcoin that people try to FUD over. And guess what? In 2 years, they'll be clear also. And we'll look back and we'll wonder, why did we worry about that? Like, oh, Lightning. People were saying that Lightning Network was horrible. Lightning Network was never going to work. And we'll look back and we'll just laugh. Like, why? That was a line of reasoning? No, that was smart people were saying. No, not smart people were saying that. FUD. It was FUD. But so yeah, put it all in perspective. That's the lesson you can learn from 2 years ago. That what appears very unclear in the present, but is going to make sense if you have a strong hand, if you're a long-term thinker. In the long term, it becomes very clear. So keep that strong hand. Don't let the people FUD you. There are always going to be all sorts of different attacks on Bitcoin, different challenges to Bitcoin, and they fail. We've seen them come and go, and we'll see more of them. All right. So it's been, and it has been since that day in August 1st. I mean, all of us who have held since before August 1st, I mean, we're in really great shape. I mean, do the math, people. Do the freaking math. I mean, if Bitcoin was below $3,000 before August 1st, and it has never gone under $3,000 again since 2 years ago, despite what some people were worried about, weren't they? And we all got all the forks, the crypto dividends came to us too in that time period. So yeah, holding has its benefits. It's great benefits. But again, you got to remember that during those first few months, people were trading, were unbelievably, I know this, they were FOMOing over an alt. They were FOMOing over Bcash. They were giving up their precious Bitcoin for Bcash. Unbelievable that people were doing that. Why pay for something that you get for free? Pound that like button. Okay, enough of the 2-year anniversary. Yay. I mean, and then, there's some people that are analyzing all the technical aspects of the battle that was going on. Who cares? We're living in the future now. We're living in the present. Okay, great. It was the right path. It was the right path. The scaling debate was over. I mean, it didn't even need to freaking scale at the time, or really now. So here it is. And with that in mind, Spencer Noon says the hard truth about crypto that's crystallized for me over the past year. This industry passes people by so easily if you're not voraciously consuming content and stay up to date with trends. It's physically exhausting and really fun for some people. Okay, dude. Trends in crypto, getting passed by a lot of those trends are noise, dude. Okay. Now, I will say this: voraciously consuming non-new noise content is good. It is good to learn the basics of Bitcoin, but getting distracted with all the altcoin noise, you're going to go down a path of misery, dude. You're going to get too distracted. But there is a lot of information. You can fall behind on current events. I will give you that. And it's good to know the current events in the Bitcoin space so you don't get fudded out. So you know what's on the horizon. So you know that a lot of big financial organizations are going to get into Bitcoin. And you understand the reasons that individuals in poor countries or in countries that are under repressive financial regimes need Bitcoin. These are current event type things. They strengthen your hands. Now, someone replied to Spencer Noon's tweet, and I think it was good. I think a lot of the trends are noise. So if you're constantly reading, spotting a trend, and making decisions based on knowing the latest trend, you're just following the crowd. I'd also say most crypto companies and investors are falling into this trap. I agree. 80%. Yeah. People are jumping into trends. They're starting companies around trends. They're making investment funds around trendy altcoins. Keep it simple. Bitcoin. Instead of starting some company around some third-rate altcoin, you just buy Bitcoin. I know it doesn't sound very glamorous. It's not very trendy. You didn't learn about some new tech of some altcoin. You kept it simple. You kept it basic. You kept up with the current events of Bitcoin, and it increased your conviction for Bitcoin, okay? That's why you learn. That's why you follow the news in Bitcoin voraciously. And it's good to know of that altcoins exist and some of the some of the new things they could add to Bitcoin. And it's good to know about what governments are saying about Bitcoin, but not get too scared about it. Current events around Bitcoin, good to know, good things to know. You get all sorts of original news right here on this Bitcoin Meister channel every single day. So pound that like button. And yeah, and if you have a system, a simple system like buy and hold, and you're learning, you won't get fudded out at all. All right, keep it simple. And by the way, there's, you know, I love to read and watch videos and read. And again, with Twitter, that can be physically exhausting for people who are getting caught up in the arguments and the noise there. But if you read people's feeds like web pages just to learn, it's a great source for strengthening your hands and getting you knowledge of the whole long-term Bitcoin system, how it's going to affect everyone, all the 20%ers especially, over the years. And that's why it's a long-term investment, why it's savings, why you have to defer gratification, because some of these, the crypto industry does change very quick, and there are lots of trends. But deferring gratification for Bitcoin, you're just sticking with the Bitcoin. You're not getting tempted by all those trends. All right, forecast.news is a new site, a new news site. I really haven't checked it out that much, but there were some interesting looking articles on it, interesting titles. And again, if they're in motion, we need more competitors, the CoinDesk. So this is where the big boys play. Compete, don't complain. All right. And Safadine has a great tweet out there that really puts the Bitcoin transaction fees in perspective. And we just learned from Nick Carter the other day that I think in September or later this fall, that the total amount of Bitcoin fees ever, transaction fees, is going to hit $1 billion. And some people say, oh, that's so expensive. But Safadine puts it in a great perspective. If a startup earns $1 billion in 10 years for transferring money worldwide, would your university's fiat economists, still call it a tulip? So again, this really puts a serious edge to Bitcoin that any financial person or university economist can understand. I mean, it made $1 billion as a startup in 10 years just transferring money. Okay, that's a great perspective. Now let's go into complicating matters a little bit, and marketing at the same time. Grayscale, Barry Silbert. I like the Drop Gold campaign. They are behind GBTC, which gets some people who aren't comfortable with having a Trezor and holding their Bitcoin, and who are like 401ks and IRAs, comfortable with Bitcoin, I guess. He's got all these funds out there at Grayscale. And I'm on a site the other day, and I see I'm being served up banner ads for Grayscale, just the Grayscale funds. Now, again, I'm glad I know about Grayscale. You don't want to know too much about all their. I mean, are you going to buy the Ethereum Classic Grayscale fund? I mean, why do that? Just buy Bitcoin. But I wanted to point out that they're aggressive. They had the Drop Gold campaign, and this is going to attract some people to their corner of the cryptocurrency space. Okay, which is not exactly Bitcoin, because exactly Bitcoin is controlling your private key. So I'm seeing their advertisements out there. Obviously, it's targeting me because, Google has, they see I do a lot of Bitcoin search. I do a lot of Bitcoin videos, obviously. But there are a lot of people out there that do searches for Bitcoin and whatever that don't hold Bitcoin yet, and they're going to see this Grayscale thing. So conclusion, Barry Silbert's spending a lot of money on marketing. But in the long run, also Drop Gold helps Bitcoin. And in the long run, some of these people that buy his funds, they'll get into Bitcoin. They'll become elite holders like my buddies here today. Hey, Zoom is awesome, Bitcoin Meister, says UK Bitcoin Master. Yeah, it is pretty awesome. It's actually, I'd like working with it more than YouTube. Also, if anyone has any questions, you can type in Bitcoin Meister or do the super chat, and I will answer your question. I will see it. All right, a story from ESPN that made me think. A massive bet placed on the 76ers to make the playoffs. So somebody in Las Vegas bet $100,000 that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to make the playoffs this coming NBA season. And if he wins, he'll make $2,000. Okay, he'll get his money back plus $2,000. So that's a 2% return if the 76ers make the play. And most likely the 76ers are going to make the play. I mean, it's, well, last year the Lakers did it. But anyway, let's not get into that. Adam knows about NBA. I mean, things slip into my head sometimes, okay? Don't waste your time on this. I surely don't. It's just in your face all the time. My point in sharing this, though, is that there are people out there with a lot of money that they are not satisfied with the returns they can make from the traditional banking system. I mean, there are some people who like to take risk, okay? Clearly, gamblers like to take risk. But for a 2% return, and then it talked about it's the same gambler who last year bet on, I believe it was the Warriors were going to make the playoffs. He had to bet $76,000 to get $760, so a 1% return, okay? So what are these people thinking? Like, learn about Bitcoin, dudes. Buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. There's no chance of that going to zero. Again, if the 76ers don't make the playoffs, it's zero. It's worth zero. Now, the likelihood of that happening. So we are in this financial environment where there are people with lots of money that they like to take some time. They don't want to put their money in a bank account because that's not even going to get them 2% at this point. So they're going to Las Vegas and betting on, I mean, and so this is an extreme example, obviously a very extreme example. But I mean, you scale it down some, and people are doing all sorts of crazy things like that instead of getting into Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has such a bigger possible payoff than, again, this guy has to wait to get his 2%, to get his $2,000 until April of next year, of April of 2020. He's got to wait. I mean, he couldn't do the same and wait for the Bitcoin halving of May, just a few days later in Bitcoin. Anyway, gamblers are going to gamble, but I think there is a certain type of gambler out there that can wrap their head around, like, why am I doing why am I doing sure thing bets instead of getting into Bitcoin, which I can convince myself is also gambling, even though it is not gambling. All right, there's your thing of the day. Always bet on Bitcoin. Pound that like button, people. And yeah, dude, that is wild. $100,000 for the 76ers to make the playoffs, and he'll get $2,000, 2% return. Very, very nice. All right. Okay. So something that I forgot to mention yesterday that I am glad I forgot to mention. There was an article about Ledger X in CoinDesk, how they were going to beat back to launching the first physical Bitcoin futures in the United States. And it actually didn't happen. And I linked to the article that was about that, and then the article that corrected that, and the excuses they are making. How about this perspective? I have a different perspective on all this, on futures, okay? On physically backed Bitcoin futures. It's already happened in my head, because my head is in 2025. My head is in 2025, okay? My head is there, and I am so happy that the Adam from 2019 was doing a new video every day, and that he never sold his Bitcoin, and that he wasn't tempted by all the noise, obviously, and he kept on preaching crypto dividends to everybody. So for me, guys, it is going to happen. Who cares who is the first, when they're going to do it, if they have a fake news report about it. It's good. So when you hear about things like this and you're just eagerly waiting for the day of this financialization to happen, Put yourself in the 2025 mindset and that it's already happened and that you're so happy that you bought Bitcoin before it did happen. All right. And you can watch yesterday's video. I think it was yesterday's video where I was praising the 2015 version of Adam Meister, because there was a tweet about how basically if you can defer gratification, you will love your past self. So deferring gratification in the present in 2025, you will love the 2019 version of you who deferred gratification. And yes, I have experienced that feeling of love for the 2015 Adam Meister, the 2016 Adam Meister, who deferred gratification, who had a strong hand, who had conviction, who did not let go of that Bitcoin, baby. Strong hand. Pound that like button. Moving on. What do we have left? Was that it? That might be it. Oh, yeah. Sportsmeister.com. All my new audios. I'm doing extra audio podcasts. People have been enjoying them. So go to sportsmeister.com. Check out all my links below, of course, and follow me on Twitter at TechBalt, TechBalt. And that was the end of the show there. Wait, RockApe73, 4-digit Bitcoin gone for good, 5-digit era now for us for dollar fiat freaks. Well, you never know. We're already in the 5-digit realm because we're used to it. We're getting used to it as the new normal, okay? So when it does go in the 4-digit realm, we're kind of a little disappointed. But soon it'll just be really normal. Just now, still people are a little bit happy when they see it jump up, get into the 5-digit realm. But we're getting solidly into it. We're going to get solidly into it soon enough. All right. And yes, Johnny NY says 6-digit realm coming in the future. Yeah. Get that 2025. I mean, who knows when it will happen? I don't want to say a number. I don't want to say a date. But if you are in that 6-digit realm now, you can defer gratification. You're like, 6-digit realm. I buy now when it's on this border of the 4 and 5. My mindset is 6-digit. So I got to get as much as possible. So the future me in the 6-digit realm will praise the past me in this almost 5-digit realm era. Okay, I think that was all I had to say. It feels like there was something else in this. Oh, God. All right. I am Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video, share this video. Pound that like button. Bang that bell button. Tomorrow around the same exact time, what is it? It's 4:19 on the East Coast of the United States. Right around now is when Simon Dixon will be on the This Week in Bitcoin show. So click on those squares to see my recent shows. Sportsmeister.com. See ya.